On February 28, 2026, a massive wave of joint United States and Israeli airstrikes struck targets across the Middle East. Military planners initially designed this operation as a strictly bounded, rapid response offensive. Over the next 2 weeks, a period analysts quickly designated the 12-day war, coalition forces executed precision strikes against missile silos, command bunkers, and regional air defense networks. The sheer velocity of the bombardment overwhelmed regional defense systems in hours. By striking so quickly and across multiple jurisdictions simultaneously, the offensive broke the delicate diplomatic equilibrium that had governed the region for decades. What was engineered on paper as a localized, calculated maneuver dismantled the political and military guardrails that previously contained direct confrontation. The immediate epicenter of the political fallout was here, in the Iranian capital. Amidst the chaos of the bombardments, a critical intelligence operation succeeded in assassinating Iran's supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. The supreme leader is the highest-ranking political and religious authority in the Islamic Republic, holding ultimate control over the military and foreign policy. His sudden death created an immediate power vacuum within the highest echelons of the Iranian command structure. Factions within the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps scrambled to secure internal authority. Within hours, control of the state apparatus violently shifted to his son, Mojtaba Khamenei. This transition occurred without the standard consensus of the Assembly of Experts, leaving the new leadership unstable and heavily reliant on hardline military commanders to maintain order. This sudden leadership decapitation removed any remaining diplomatic off-ramps. To project strength and consolidate control domestically, the new regime adopted a hyper-aggressive retaliatory posture, setting into motion a three-pronged counteroffensive known as the Triad of Fire. This satellite image shows the Persian Gulf and Strait of Hormuz. Iran's retaliation began with the total closure of this waterway. By mining the narrow choke point to the Arabian Sea, the Iranian Navy paralyzed international shipping, halting 20% of global daily petroleum consumption. This chart demonstrates the immediate economic devastation. Global energy markets panicked, causing crude oil prices to spike vertically, blowing past the $120 per barrel threshold in a matter of days. The economic warfare was enforced by physical destruction. Commercial oil tankers attempting to navigate the blockade were targeted and severely damaged, leaving multi-million-dollar vessels smoking in the Gulf waters. A localized naval blockade had successfully engineered a worldwide energy panic. By weaponizing geography, the Iranian military severely constrained the global economy within less than a week. While the global economy choked on energy shortages, the conflict rapidly bled outward across international borders. The second pillar of the triad was activated in the Levant. A brutal ground conflict erupted as entrenched Hezbollah militants, a heavily armed Lebanese paramilitary organization backed by Iran, began large-scale tactical maneuvers in urban Lebanon. This map illustrates the third pillar of the triad. Simultaneous, coordinated strikes from Iranian-backed militias directly targeted United States military installations situated in Jordan and Kuwait. These simultaneous proxy escalations forced a severe dispersal of Allied resources, defending against a mechanized ground war in the north, while intercepting drone and missile barrages across multiple sovereign borders, stretched United States and Israeli defense logistics to their absolute limits. Beyond the military doctrine and supply chain disruptions, the rapidly expanding war zone carried an irreversible human toll. During the initial bombardments, coastal cities near strategic military installations suffered heavy collateral damage. In the southern Iranian city of Minab, targeted strikes on naval command centers resulted in severe civilian casualties as residential blocks caught in the crossfire were leveled. The cold logic of the 12-day offensive has been overwhelmed by the grim physical reality of the casualties. This expansion into civilian zones marks a catastrophic transition toward a general humanitarian disaster. As the initial 12-day tactical phase concluded, the strategic aftermath settled heavily on Washington, D.C. Inside the White House, extreme domestic political pressure began mounting against President Donald Trump. Lawmakers and the public alike demanded answers as the anticipated quick victory devolved into a sprawling multi-front war. The administration's maximum pressure strategy, a foreign policy doctrine focused on using intense economic and diplomatic sanctions to force Iran into compliance, faced an aggressive public audit against the reality of the ensuing global chaos. Any initial tactical military successes achieved by neutralizing the high command in Tehran were entirely eclipsed. The administration now faced an unmanageable domestic and international political crisis, struggling to justify the immense human and economic costs. The current reality is a state of global paralysis. International oil markets remain frozen by the blockade. Multi-front proxy wars are raging across the Levant and the Arabian Peninsula, and an untested, unstable regime controls the levers of power in Tehran. While urban centers like Tel Aviv rely on heavily fortified defense networks and interceptor shields to maintain civilian order, the fractured reality of the region is defined by burning shipping lanes and devastated border towns. With regional communication lines severed, observers are now evaluating the trajectory of this escalation. The presence, or total absence, of a diplomatic mechanism to stop the expansion defines the next stage of the crisis. The evidence suggests a grim trajectory. The 12-day war was merely the opening salvo. By activating this triad of fire, the combatants have placed the entire Middle East on the inevitable path toward a catastrophic 100-day regional war.